Coal City, 7 minutes past 8. And you're right here on ESBS Sanders FM 96.1. Matters of the moment. You know what's up with this moment? It's a rainy day, a rainy morning, a rainy Monday morning in the city of Enugu. I bet you're enjoying the weather, but it's a Monday, so you get up and get about your business. What else is the matter of the moment in Enugu State? It is the anti-noise pollution policy of Enugu State government, which was announced last week. Okay, and that is to combat the rampant noise pollution in the metropolis, and there is a deadline to that. We will be having this conversation with Dr. Austin Okoli, a policy and management consultant, former director, state director, NOA, that's National Orientation Agency. Doc, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me.
And thank you, dear listener, for joining us. In a short while, we'll be letting the phone lines open so that you can register your thoughts and your comments on the focus for today's discussion, Enugu State anti-noise pollution. We're having a discussion on this. My name is Ngozeka Anda.
My name is Chioma Agolana. Welcome to the program.
Doc, like I said earlier, Enugu State government through the Enugu Capital Territory Development Authorities, ECTDA, placed an announcement that Enugu State government will begin to regulate noise in Enugu City, metropolis. What is this all about? Do you have an idea?
Well, you see, they are trying to return Enugu back to its originality, back to the welcoming atmosphere of serenity, quietude, and like you know, talking about pollution. We have organic pollution, having organic pollution. We have chemical and biological pollutions. That is things that disturb the environment. You can see the churches, the mosques, the people who pray so much and they disturb their neighbors, and other noise making like night clubbing, and even playing your music so loud that you look like as if there is a party going on or a factory where noise is also manufactured and given free of charge to neighbors. So the government of Enugu is not only talking about how to grow the economy, how to secure the people living within and around Enugu. They're also talking about maintaining your sanity, maintaining your sanity and the environmental stability, because it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand, and that policy is a welcome development. I think Enugu State government is holistic in trying to bring people to Enugu, tourists, researchers, people who want to come to a quiet environment and enjoy Enugu in its entirety. So I think that policy, if well implemented, if well followed, if well understood, and that is the reason why we are communicating the policy to the people, so that everybody, ignorance of the law is no excuse, but we still have to make that communication to the people to know that making noise, polluting the environment, using loudspeakers, putting your radios and your videos in such loud disturbs the stability of the environment, disturbs the sanity of people. So I think that policy formulation and implementation is apt now and is good to go. They have given 90 days, with which those who have already mounted their loudspeakers and those who make such noise, those night clubs, to put soundproof. You can dance, you can make noise, but within your own immediate environment, so that your neighbors and the entire environment is not violated. So I think within 90 days from the date of that law, the
Implementation will-
enforcement.
Oh,
Implementation has begun, but the enforcement of those who have run foul of the law, those who are both nightclubs and churches and mosques. I think it's much of mosques and some churches, because the type of noise, even some very loud parties, the type of noise that we emitted from such spots have become worrisome. to
now,
neighbors.
Doc, in all of this, I didn't hear anything about commuters, motorists, drivers on the road. Elsewhere, you blast your horn, you honk at your horn. The only time you honk at your horn is if it's needful. But we didn't hear anything. Some persons just press their, especially commercial bus drivers, place their hand perpetually on their horns. They greet people by honking on their horn. They, alert passengers by honking on their horns. Virtually everything. It's an abuse in itself. But then again, don't you consider it a pollution too?
Well, like I said earlier, the policy is holistic. They are talking about even bus drivers, even some keke drivers put trailer horns in their install trailer horns in their vehicles. Even some trailers and very big vehicles. If you see the kind of horns like that of the train, they install them and make a lot of noise.
And scare people.
Yes, but the truth is that the noise is noise, and the noise in its all ramifications is now being controlled. So don't say your name has not been mentioned, that keke or bus or even ordinary drivers are not involved. The unfortunate thing is that most of us travel abroad and see the sanity and see the way horns are being maintained, because when you honk or put on your horn or blast your horn or whatever, or vuvuzela, whatever, then you will see that you scare a lot of people. Some people who have hypertension, some people who have diseases of palpitations, they get immediate jitters and shocks. So we are going to control noise in Enugu in its all symbols and ramifications. So you cannot just begin to mention everything that makes noise, but be warned. They say to be forewarned is to be forearmed. So don't say I have not been mentioned, or that I can play a music because they did not say those playing radio you have not been mentioned, or those blowing horns, or that it is only commercial vehicles. After all, my own is a private vehicle. Noise is noise, and I'm sure that
Irrespective of where it's coming
yes,
from.
the strategy to arrest the situation, to control the situation, have been developed, and the government is well aware that this noise making is going to be put to a stop. So that if you enter Enugu, Enugu will be used as example. I don't know whether Lagos State government is listening to what Enugu is about to do, because if you go to Lagos, dear me, if you hear from house to house, every house is a mosque, and that is, you can only from 2 a.m., 3 a.m., every hour, you cannot sleep.
Do you see the viability of all of this? Some religious bodies will feel attacked by this. I mean, they virtually cannot do without noise.
You don't need those noise to pray to God. There's nothing like, churches or mosques. You disturb other people. You are right. Stops at where another person's right starts. So it's not a case of whether a religious body or religious groups are targeted. It's about sanity of the environment. It's about people living in their quietude. So nobody should feel. That's why this warning. That's why this time of 90 days, so that you bring down. You don't need to be shouting for people for God to listen. God is not a deaf God. And if anybody is worshiping in a particular worshiping center, he should know that this is time for worship. You don't need to, wake other people who are not worshiping along with you to wake up whether they like it or not. You don't need to disturb the environment. So, like I said earlier, prayer is a quiet thing. It's a two-thing between you and your God. It's not, a disturbing thing. God is not a deaf God. You don't need to make noise to wake God up or to alert God, or to let God pay attention to your prayers.
No, the Enugu state government got over 1,000 petitions. Over 1,000 petitions against the clubs, against the churches, and all of them, because people don't think that clubs and churches, actually the owners, can function without some form of noise to tell people that we are here.
No, the truth is that
it's just their way of saying, look this way.
whether they write petition or not, what government is doing is not out of place.
But what can they do without such things? It's something that they have.
They should go to court and try to claim their rights, where government will establish.
Isn't there other ways of making sure that your presence is registered?
What I'm saying is that
without making noise.
You can make noise, but you control your noise within your immediate vicinity. Mm-hmm. So you do not have to disturb your neighbors or disturb the public. That's what government is saying. That's why the primary purpose of government is for welfare of the people. Because sometimes you cannot even tell them not to blow their horns or play loud music or this kind of earthquaking noise making. And what government is saying is that please be mindful of your neighbors. Be mindful of other people. You have a right to blow your music, but you blow it and control it within your room, yes, within your house. You can make such deafening noise, but don't allow it to filter outside. So that's why the government is talking about you use soundproof. Government have said use soundproof because if you go to nightclubs, there are some mechanisms that which they control noise from filtering out, so that even if the earth is breaking down, they don't allow the noise to come out. That's what they call noise and soundproof. They install it in their walls, in their roofs, so that even in the studios, in radio studios, you immediately enter the studio, you begin to feel the sound. You begin to hear the sound, but outside it, the immediate visit, you won't even hear anything. So
except
they have
with
to,
the aid of a speaker.
Yes.
Okay, and then the speakers should not be situated outside.
Outside, yes. Now,
Outside.
what the people want to do is to orchestrate their noise or to orchestrate their sound without minding other people's sensibilities, other people's comfort and discomfort. So what government is saying that the people cannot control you. Some people fight in their neighborhood. Some people wake up as families early in the morning to disturb the rest of the people living around them in the name of prayers. They will be shouting on top of their voices. They will be singing and making loud noises. This law will catch up with them because it's not. I said that initially that they do not need to begin to mention everything. But when you violate the law, somebody can now go to court and take you citing the law of noise, noise pollution, and the court and the law will take full, toll on you. Government is about everybody, about the welfare, about the well-being, about the serenity and comfort of the rest of the community. But some people take the laws in their hands. They just do whatever they like. They don't care whether you are dying. Some sick people, if you blow such sounds, if you make such noise, whether you are worshiping or not, or you are doing, I don't think anybody who is sane will see this kind of law and begin to write petition. Are you writing petition to government to allow you to disturb other people? Are you writing petition to government to allow because of what? So, government have already thought it out. Some people have already written petition and complained of what the churches, the noises, particularly those who are building churches within the residential areas. You can build a church and stay very far away, but whatever happens, government have given their guidelines, like mounting very loud. Because if you come to Lagos, if you see how each house have very loud
and in the evening.
Oh my goodness! You will see. So to control that, that's why I'm saying whether Lagos State will come to copy and emulate Enugu, and let Enugu start.
No, Lagos State is on top of the matter. Actually, they've been trying to filter.
They are not on top of the matter because, like I'm telling you, each time I go to Lagos, particularly within those Mushin, Olosha, Agege areas, those suburbs.
You don't go there now. You don't see Lekki, Victoria Island.
They don't make such noise in Lekki and in VI and in Ikoyi.
Yes.
If you make such noise, people, because you see the high density and low density areas. This noise comes from
the high density.
Yes, the high density areas. I do not want to use the word poor or rich.
Or slow.
But some people, yes, some people know how to conduct themselves. You know, majority of them do not even know that what they are doing is against the law. So in this noise pollution,
So it is against the law.
it's against the law to make noise and disturb other.
Nigeria?
Yes.
Oh.
No, go and check. Like you can see that government cannot just wake up and start making such. If you go and check, somebody is not supposed. Even your husband cannot make such noise in the room. In fact, you can sue him.
Play loud music and all.
Loud music and make such noise. Some people are praying. Let me tell you, when you hear people pray, they want to bring down the roof.
Have you considered those who engage in what they call either morning call or morning cry? Are you considering those as well?
That is
Very early in the morning.
That's what we are saying.
loudspeaker,
You see, but we are not even using loudspeaker.
preaching.
Some people, their voices.
amplified.
Yes. So when they make this noise, people will sue them. When you are sued, they will cite the law because government cannot do anything without legislation, without law. They will make a particular law or edict or whatever type of arrangement to bar. It is barring noise making. It is pollution. You are polluting the environment with noise. So whatever that will enable you to pollute the environment, to disturb the neighbors, to disturb the environment is included in this law. And you see, Enugu will be quiet. Enugu, not only Enugu city, Enugu state. Because some people say, okay, let me go and make the noise in the village. You cannot make the noise in the village because the same law within the precincts of Enugu state, within the boundaries of Enugu state, that law becomes applicable.
Okay, now for business owners who might start feeling like they are being attacked.
What type of business?
There are club owners,
No,
some
no,
restaurants
don't
they
talk
play
about
music.
No.
Churches are not businesses, but they also but they may start feeling attacked at this point. But there are some side effects to the health of the people when noise is allowed to be the order of the day. I don't know if you have any of these in mind. Some of the sicknesses that can get worse and some that can come to be as a result of noise that people are really not paying attention to.
You see, when somebody is sleeping, there's a kind of noise you will make. The person will pass on. The person will go to the beyond. The type of noise, the heart will fail. You see, when they are talking about this noise pollution, you cannot even read. You can't even have quiet moments. You can't even have quiet things. Some people are given to loud. Even at the airports. If you come to airports, in most of the countries' airports, you notice that Nigerians, I'm sorry to say this, Nigerians are identified and known for their noise making. So something has to be done. Things like this noise pollution. We have to bring a legislation, a law, to make sure that we behave like others.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, the most unfortunate thing is that when we travel abroad, we see that people don't abuse this law. People don't pollute the environment. Even before you're home, some people, like in the UK or in the US, you can hardly hear whether any horn. You begin to wonder whether these vehicles don't have horns. But they know the implication, even without the law being applied. So you can see how somebody will just match. Some of the horns are being blown with their feet. They install such loud noise that if they match on the horn and the whole environment, everybody is agitated. So government has come down with a law to control that. So I don't see anybody writing any petition. That would be a frivolous petition. Government will not even listen to that kind of petition because this law is a well thought out, a well researched law, and it has come into effect. I'm sure that those who are indulging in this type of know themselves, and they have to refrain, and they have to abide by this law. They are not. Government is just not just warning. They have just signaled takeoff of that particular implementation of that law.
No,
I don't see any business that is a business of noise making. You cannot disturb others because you want to make money.
Noise making has been linked to high blood pressure, which is one of the most, how do I say it, one of the popular, because right now it's like young people.
It's a killer. It's
Yes,
a killer.
no, it has been linked
People
to
die in their sleeps.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, that you make noise and somebody can pass on from sleeping to the beyond because of the noise
and then
that.
the person can lose how much you can hear over time as a result of noise. And then stress-related illnesses such as stroke they have also been linked to noise. So these are some of the things that the state government is looking at in trying to control this. Yeah. So is there something you can, because I see people really agitating for this, really more like, against it at this point, because they don't want it. They want to be able to make that noise. In other climes where I don't hear this kind of noise making, I see that they invest hugely on their signposts.
Well, you see, what happens is that there's what we call silence. Silence, or doing things in a hush tune without being so loud, is a culture that we need to imbibe. We make a lot of noise. Honestly, I have to admit
Nigerians.
that. Nigerians. And we need to cut down on that noise making. And government, since part of their job of governance is maintaining the stability and maintaining the stability of the noise that goes out there. Talking about health, yes, there are a lot. These are health-related issues. It is the people who are complaining. Some hospitals that are close by, some aged men and women that are close by, some elders. If you enter some families, you see the kind of noise people make with their acoustic guitars and loudspeakers. The type of music they play, the nightclubs. Some people build these nightclubs within the vicinity of a thickly populated environment, and they disturb everybody. Nobody can do nothing about it. So government has come down to try to control that noise pollution, and some people do it inadvertently. They do not even know that other people are suffering as a result of what they do. So they want to bring to the knowledge, they want to bring to the notice of everyone that, look, what you do is injurious to people's health. Like you talked about the ear. There is a particular noise that will even not only disturb, but will make sure that it breaks your
eardrum.
Yes, your eardrum, so that you start having hard to hearing. It becomes difficult for you to hear things. These white people, these European and American people, these advanced countries, that's why they developed some of the earpieces. Some even while they are answering their phone calls, they make a lot of noise. They throw their hands up like mad people. They shout and forget about those who are around them. These things are what government wants to control. Let us live life like human beings. Let us behave like human beings, because some don't even care. This is not a wild, animal world where you do whatever you like. So, survival of the fittest. And if anybody wants to call you to order, you shout back at the person and say, "Look, don't mind your business." You cannot mind your business when you're making noise and disturbing the environment. Some people, some neighbors, like some areas, some high-density areas, it is apartments of one room. Face me, I face you. My neighbor and all these people live. So many families are living in one building, and some people constitute nuisance. Some people constitute, source of noise pollution to them, and some people even fight. Some people kill their neighbors because of the noise they're making. So, but the government has now, come with this law. I think this our governor and the government in Enugu State are truly responding to the worries and what is agitating the people. It shows that, they're listening. Forget about those who are writing frivolous petition, if there is any, because I wonder what the person will be writing. Want government to allow you to make noise, to disturb other people?
No, the petition is about the people writing against the noises that
prompted the Enugu State government to make this.
That's what I'm saying. That people should write petition and complain that we are human beings, we are not animals. We desire and we deserve quietude, quiet times and quiet environment, particularly in residential areas. Some industrial areas, you see that some areas are designated as industrial areas. We have factories. Because factories make noise, they also install soundproof, even generators. Generators some people use, oh my goodness. Because if you come to some families, if you hear, it is like a factory where everybody is playing, want to outdo each other. With the small, I pass my neighbor, the medium one, the big one, none of them have soundproof. Government will also come down that if you have generator, you have to install the soundproof, so that the sanity, the quietude, the mental violation by other members of the society should be curbed, should be reduced, should be stopped. And that is what makes human beings we are not animals. I think this is a very, very good legislation. This is a very, very good law. Whether I call it edict or whatever, the Enugu state government will set an example for the rest of the 36 states, even in Abuja. If you see the type of noise that comes from some certain quarters, you will wonder whether this is a capital city. Most people will travel abroad and they want to imitate, most of these, churches and mosques. I say you do not need to mount all this and make this noise for those who want to come and worship there to come and worship there. And you do not want to invite God during the prayer by making noise, because God is not deaf. Nobody has ever told me that, you need to make so much noise
so that
God will hear you. So I think it is just human nature that people want to get heard, but you do not have to stop the environment.
Thank you very much, Dr. Austin Okoli, for your submission on this morning. You are listening to Enugu State Broadcasting Service on Rise FM 96.1, Matters of the Moment. And we're having a discussion on Enugu State anti-noise pollution, which the government led by Dr. Peter Mba introduced this initiative, giving places of worship, clubs, bars, and other users of open public address and sound system 90 days to dismantle their loudspeakers and adopt a more friendly, environmentally friendly soundproof systems or face the full wrath of the law. Okay, and so I must tell you that the 90 days is already counting down. Okay, this policy was announced last week. So if you are still counting your 90 days from today, you may need to recount. And this does not just involve the religious organizations that use loudspeakers. It also involves clubs, bars, like I mentioned. It also involves motorists who blast their horns and constitutes nuisance on our roads. It also involves generator users. Eventually, government will clamp down on everyone who is polluting the environment with noise this time around. And according to Dr. Okoli, it is a welcome development. And so I will be opening the phone lines to let you in on this conversation. The numbers to call are 0907 275 9950, 0907 275 9950, or you call 0706 815 8029, 0706 815 8029. Good morning. Thanks for joining us, sir.
To your guest, Dr. Okoli.
He's listening.
Okay. I'm Nemeka Anichuku calling from Enugu. Nemeka Anichuku calling from.
You're welcome, sir.
So the law has come out to clamp down on noise making, especially in religious arenas. It's a very good policy. It's very good. Because noise disturbs creativity. When there's noise, creativity will be low. And when creativity is low, poverty will go high. Because it's creativity that will create wealth. So, and this noise making by churches and mosques shows lack of faith. The God says, He's not there for dumb, that He cannot hear our prayers or praises. But this noise is a kind of a Pentecostal capitalism whereby it has been taken as a business to shout so that God will hear their prayers. But they are competing with each other in accessing God's mercy, blessings, and protections. So everybody should go inside and worship God in spirit and in truth with less sound. Sound level should be low because God hears us when we have not even talked. He has heard us. So thank you very much. And thank you to the government for such policy. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Nemeka Gabriel Anichuku. 0907 275 9950 or 0706 815 8029. What are your thoughts on Enugu State's anti-noise pollution policy? And we are still here with Dr. Austin Okoli discussing this matter. I forgot to mention that neighbors who play loud music for every other tenant, even if you're interested or not, are also culpable. I mean, this will transcend to that point. If it's going to affect generator users, it's going to affect virtually everyone who creates noise as nuisance. I wish we're able to reach across the leadership, okay, of Enugu State Capital Territory Development Authority to discuss in details this law, if there's an existing law, why it has not been effective before now, and why the interest. But probably the interest is because of the volume of petitions coming. But I'm sure these petitions are not new, because I know of persons, especially lettered persons, who got court injunction to stop those who have open bars, pubs, lounges, and joints in their environment to stop playing loud music. I don't know how these businesses will survive. This conversation will actually be ongoing. We're not ending it with this particular discussion today, because we'll have to feel the pulse of everyone involved. How are you going to cope? Are you cooperating with the government, or you think this one is bearing down on you? Is government overbearing? We will want feedback from people. But do you also think that ECTDA should rather go a step ahead to ensure that residential areas are not rented out to persons who engage in these businesses? Will it get to such a point where you ask people to relocate their businesses because of the location?
Well, Ngozi, you say, I'm surprised they're calling worshipping business. They have just
no, there are clubs, there are lounges, and there are bars.
See, the noise.
Not church.
I don't know if you have been to Abani Road before. Every house is a church. Even in some multi-flat buildings, you have 3 or 4 different churches in one building. Not only in Abani Road, Tabakba, particularly in those densely populated areas. What we are saying is that their business is not going to suffer because we stop noise making. We are saying that their business will survive, will still be okay without noise making. I don't know how you link survival of a business with noise making, whether my business will survive or not. That's why I said...
I'm talking about those businesses where you have to play music.
You don't need to play it so loudly.
Okay.
You don't need to play it so loudly. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see anybody going to a place because noise is being made there. Even drinking parlors and restaurants, I don't see anybody being attracted to go and dance, convert it to a dance hall. We are saying that, look, everything, there's a limit to everything. Nobody says you should not play music. Nobody says you should not blow your horn. Okay? The horn is installed in vehicles so that you can alert somebody, either a vehicle coming behind or from the front, or overtaking and so on. They say horn before overtaking. But they are saying do not abuse these installed gadgets. Do not make so much noise. Do not allow churches to be, established. Many churches, so much noise, insanity. And that you can see the way people behave. Sometimes when you are driving along the street, when you are moving around, you see some people have already gone insane. The way they behave, the way they talk. Because when somebody is hard at hearing, he must shout. Because he thinks that you're also suffering from hearing impairment.
Yeah.
You have to shout. He wants you to hear him or her. That is why they shout. So this constitutes noise making. And the government is calling everybody to order. And I also want to let government to give us light, because when people provide their light, like generators and so on, if light is there, I don't see anybody going to burn down the generators when the light is there. The people put on generators. When they take the light, the whole neighborhood gets electrified with sound of generators of different sizes, hues and cry. And you cannot even hear your phone call, you cannot even hear yourself. So government have a duty to also ensure that there is a light. Prepare as you go, prepaid, you pay. If there's no light, then if you don't pay, then your light goes off. But They should provide the light. They have to do their own enablement. They have to do their own part. Then we will do our own. So the truth is that we have to have a balanced situation. But this noise making, even nightclubs, responsible nightclubbers install this soundproof that if you enter inside the place, you may not even hear each other. But when you outside it, you will not. Then government in that order. Because government, if they are set out to achieve anything, if they want to fail, they can fail. But if they want to achieve it, they will achieve it because they use the law. They have law enforcement. They have application of the law that will, make sure you pay heavily if you run foul of the law.
All right.
So ignorance of it.
Concluding statement.
Yes. For me, I want to say that that's a very, very, very nice initiative by Enugu State government that other states, other 35 states should copy, including the FCT, so that Nigerians, stop this attitude and this culture of noise making. Then people will now enjoy serenity and quietude. I think government should also make sure that they apply. It's not selective. It's not targeted to anybody. I don't believe that churches and mosques are business places where they will lose their business if they don't make noise. I don't believe that. Then I also want those who are noise related, who are doing business that are noise related, like nightclubs and pubs and so on. They now find soundproof. They remove the external, loudspeakers that are disturbing the neighbors and others. And such places, they get permission so that they do not install or establish such, those businesses around where you have density of population of people staying around, because the people suffer. They suffer in silence, and government have decided now to intervene. I hope we comply and make Enugu State a better place, a noise-free, a quiet place, and that is what is going to attract people. When this place is not a noiseless zone, and the noise is tempered with human face.
Thank you
I
very
think
much.
Enugu State people will enjoy the environment, and I hope that they even extend this law to the rural areas, not only the capital city, department.
All right,
of
Dr.
government.
Austin Okole, many thanks for being with us this morning on Matters of the Moment, where our discussion is centered on Enugu State anti-noise policy. Dr. Austin Okole is a policy and management consultant, a tertiary institution teacher, as well as the former National Orientation Agency State Director. Thank you for being here, sir.
It's always welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Thank
it's
you,
always my
Adia.
pleasure. Yes.
We'll have you again.
You woke me up from this rainy morning.
Yes.
But it's still worthwhile to
Thank
give the
you.
people this information. Government has a duty to maintain sanity and welfare of the people. So that noise pollution is an apt and a well-deserved law and initiative.
All right,
so I hope
recall
Enugu State people will now
that
comply.
Enugu State government gave places of worship, clubs, bars, and other users of open public address and sound system 90 days to dismantle that or install a environmentally friendly soundproof systems or face the full wrath of the law, the government said. And this is necessitated from the several petitions and complaints, over 1,000 of them, that this particular administration has entertained because of noise pollution. Don't wait until the time of enforcement. Be a good Nigerian, be a good Enugu State citizen. My name is Ngozi Kamba. Thanking you for being with us on Good Morning Coal City today and inviting you to join us tomorrow at 6 a.m. for our special edition, Tuesday edition of the show, Good Morning Coal City. Bye. Have a nice day.
My name is Chioma Agolana. I'll see you tomorrow.